Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest in the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, today I have Michael Jacobson on the line, and he's CEO over at French Florist. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it. Great to
All
be here.
right, so we got a lot to talk about today. I'm excited to get into the French Florist brand and what it means to grow a legacy brand in today's age. So this is going to be fun. But before we get into all of that, we'll start this episode the way that we start them all, with what we like to call our Mission Matters Minute. So Michael, at Mission Matters, our aim and our goal is to amplify stories for entrepreneurs, for executives, for experts. That's what we do. Michael, what mission matters to you?
That's such a wonderful question. So deep. I appreciate the way that this podcast starts, Adam, so much. I'll share with you the mission for French Florist, and I'll share with you my personal mission as well. It wouldn't be right if I didn't give you some context for it, but and I'm sure a lot of the audience members might be able to relate to this. I always kind of had that fire in my belly to do something entrepreneurial, but you hear the statistics of how many startups fail, and they're very real stats. I don't want to become a part of that stat on the failure side of it, at least, right? And so right out of college, I ended up taking a job in corporate consulting. It was either that or going to work on Wall Street. So hopefully I picked the lesser of the two evils, but I didn't last very long because I wasn't super satiated. That fire in my belly wasn't being fulfilled. And so I had my ear to the ground for other opportunities that might be a little bit more entrepreneurial. And lo and behold, like my uncle had been running this flower shop for 35 years. And he called me and he said, Mike, I want to sell my flower shop. I'm not making money. He was literally losing money. And so I originally came into this business to help him sell it. So we'll get into all of that. But Adam, to answer your question on like what matters to me, like what's my why, I just want to live a super purposeful life. There's a lot of different ways to make money. Like, I'm not saying that the money is equally distributed in the world. It's not, but there isn't. I don't think that there's a shortage of money in the world. I think that there is a lot of opportunity to get money. And so like the challenge became, okay, I could make a lot of money with these golden handcuffs in a corporate role, or I can choose to make money in a way that is way more purposeful. So right now, and where I'm at in my journey, I've been able to accomplish that. And so I'm kind of reworking what my own why is, but that's what it was. And that's what it's been. But in our company's why is very highly aligned to that, right? And our company's, our mission is we're in the business of flowers. We're in the business of emotions, right? We're in the business. If you're giving flowers to somebody, you're saying, hey, I'm thinking about you. I care about you. And if you dig really deep, like really, really deep, then you're saying that you love them. And I mean that in a pure sense, right? It could be a friendship. It could be a parent. It could be a sibling. It could be a romantic partner. But you're saying you're creating a more loving world, right? And so we view that as our mission is to help enable you to create a more loving world and to do that through flowers.
Love it. Michael, love bringing mission-based individuals on the line to share, why they do what they're doing, how they're doing, and really what we can all learn from that so we grow together. So great having you on. And I want to circle back to your story. And I want to go a little bit deeper with that one. So you get this call from your uncle. You're like, hey, I'm in this flower business. I want to sell it. I'm not making money. Now you could have easily like not gone in that direction. What was the curiosity or like what made you say yes? I'm just curious about that. Let's start there.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's a little bit of luck involved with it, but you also, I think that this is wisdom from somebody else. And I forget who to attribute it to, but it's not my own. And it's like the red car theory where like how many red cars did you see on the way to work today? Right. Like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4.
Right.
But if I said to you before you left for work, I said, hey, Adam, like count how many red cars you see going by. Honestly, there's probably like 20 or 30 of them. And if you're not looking for the red cars, or like, in other words, if you're not looking for the opportunities that might bring luck, then luck might happen a little bit less. So I was looking, right? I was actively looking for opportunities to do something more entrepreneurial. I had my ear to the ground. And when my uncle called, I was like, oh,
that was
like,
your red car, huh?
That was my red car. And I was looking for it. And I was like, maybe it's my red car. Sometimes you see the red cars and you're like, you go through the motions and you explore it and it's not the right fit. So, but this one happened to me. This was my red car. And I originally came in to help him sell, like, he's family. I'm happy to help family.
Mm-hmm.
And I, been interested on the finance on the sell side, and he knew that. So what happened was, like any business broker or somebody helping to sell a business would hopefully would do, is you're going to go and look at comparables and what
Yeah.
are other flower shops selling for, what multiples, what are they doing well, what are they not
Mm-hmm.
doing well. And it blew my mind what I found.
Before that, and just to be clear, before that, you didn't have any experience in
None.
the flower business. So this
Zero.
is your first experience is kind of researching this. Am I right? That's what I'm hearing?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
growing up as a kid, I think I went into my uncle's flower shop like twice in my life.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
very,
So you
very
didn't grow up around the business. Okay.
No.
That's useful. So continue, please. Mhm.
Yeah. So really brand new to the space. And the more time I spend in it, I fall deeper and deeper in love with it. But I didn't start out with that level of passion for it. I came in like anybody like yourself or anybody else who, enjoys flowers, but
What were some of those things that made you like that developed that passion? Like what were some of those things, if you remember, like from the beginning?
Yeah, no, totally. Well, there's, three really core things. One is florists are just great people. I would go around to other flower shops asking like what they're doing well and what
I never thought about that. Like, you can't be grumpy and sell flowers.
Yeah,
that doesn't work for return customers, at least in movies, right? You watch movies and they're happy. They're smiling.
They are. And I was talking.
I never thought about that. Go ahead.
A driver told me, he's like, yeah, hey man, like delivering flowers is like my therapy. It's like, I don't want to go to therapy, but like seeing the genuine smiles, these are his words. Right. And so, but that was like 5 years ago and it's really stuck with me. It's like, yeah, it's like, there's such a joy and love and happiness in the space. So for sure. Florists are wonderful people. They work really, really hard. And they historically were not they're not making a lot of money. And so they're doing it because there's a lot of love for what they do. And like, and that shows that the second thing though, is that the entire floral industry was in a very, very antiquated place and in a systemically flawed environment where the market, and I don't mean to talk ill about competitors. I really don't. That's not we're here to make our company, as good as we can make it. But if you look at how, like, why did the industry get so antiquated? One of the factors, not the only one, but one of the factors is the dominant market leaders in the space, like 1-800-Flowers and FTD, Flora, their business model, they were innovative back in the day, but they haven't innovated in a long time. And what they do is they take a 30 to 40% commission. They're like an internet broker. So after all of their fees and all of the commissions, they're taking up to like 40% commission from these florists. And so these florists are getting crushed financially. And that's only one of the reasons why they're struggling, right? And so there's supply chain and the technology is not in the right place, like a whole bunch of reasons why the space has gotten so antiquated. So having the entrepreneurial bone, I'm like, wow, there's real pain in the space. And these are great, these are really beautiful people. My uncle is no exception. Like, he wears his heart on his sleeve and he's like, but he's not making any money. He works really hard. Like, he's trying to do everything right. But so it was an amalgamation of things. And you already kind of pulled this answer out, but just like, I learned the long way how special flowers are also. And I think our name is French Florist. We're an American brand. And so people sometimes ask, like, are you French? We're not French. We don't pretend to be French. We're an American brand, but Americans typically view flowers as an occasional luxury, right? Whereas the French view it a little bit more as like a way of life. And for us, like, we feel that, like, Adam, I don't know, have you ever traveled to Europe and then you come back from Europe and like, man, like they're doing something, like I love culture. But there are some things in Europe that are like, wow, this is a really nice way of doing things. And that's one of the things that we think, there's an opportunity to bring that back to America and remind people, because I think that we all know it deep down. I don't think we're like trying to change your mind. I think it's like stuff we already know. But like just one concrete way of looking at flowers is, I might challenge somebody and say, hey, instead of buying your mom flowers on Mother's Day, this is like Hallmark, almost like an obligation. Right. If you went on a random Tuesday morning and flowers showed up for your mom, or you delivered flowers to your mom, and you said like, hey, these are flowers, like, just because, no reason at all, like, you deserve them. I might argue that might be like more impactful than buying on a Hallmark holiday. And so no reason is the best reason. There's all these like philosophical things that we can pull from the European lifestyle around flowers that is very beautiful. And through time, I've really been like, man, we need a little bit more of that in America, and
Mm.
especially that root emotion being like love. I don't think that most people wouldn't argue that it wouldn't hurt to have a little more love in the world.
Yeah.
So there was a wonderful opportunity there. I looked at my uncle, and he looked at me, and I said, I was working with him for a couple of months, ultimately to help him sell. But I looked at him after a couple of months and said, hey,
Mm.
I'm like really passionate about this, and like I want to buy the flower shop from you.
Wow. He must have been like, what? Are you serious?
Yeah. The look, it was a pretty funny look when I said that, but he's like, are you sure? My dad told me not to do it. I went to I had a finance professor that I really looked up to, and like he helped guide me in like what job I should take right out of college. Right. And I went to him, and he's like, really long story short, he actually became the first investor in French Florist. So that was,
Whoa.
yeah. So, yeah.
Go figure. So what, now you're in there, obviously you get to the point of this transition. I'm curious, when you finally get your hands on, on the wheel, so to speak, what were some of the first changes you made? Like what was going through your head, and what kind of changes did you make?
Yeah, definitely. So there were some really deep systemic issues that the entire industry needed help on. And if we were going to get this flower shop, not just to a good spot, but to like, hey, I think that we could kind of challenge the status quo in the floral industry and create something not 10, 15, 20% better, but like order of magnitude better. Not even for us, but like for the consumer experience. Like the consumer experience has really suffered because of how old and outdated the floral kind of system is at large.
For sure.
So I would love to say that like we started working on like building beautiful technology and like sourcing flowers directly from the farm. Like we have done all of that, but that's not where it started. We didn't have the money to do that. We didn't know how to do that. And so
you didn't even know you need to do it probably in the beginning.
We knew we needed to do it. Yeah. But it's like, sometimes that stuff does take a little money to figure out. And I don't have a background at the time in supply chain. And, one of the first hires that we brought on was my right hand for many, many years, and is still with our company today. He's our head of product. But he understood supply chain, right? And like I hired somebody who's way smarter than I am for that. And then we've just continued to do the same for like marketing and for tech and for everything that we have. We have some of the best talent in the world. And that's like my primary job right now, is to make, honestly, like I serve them and make sure they have the tools where they're set up for success. And then I can spend time with you doing this, Adam. Yeah. So, but that's not where it started, right? Like it's, how did we get the resources in order to invest in great people like that? The first few steps were like I don't know. I slept in the flower shop more nights than I, want to admit. And it was a lot of hard work. And that hard work involved like looking at the profit and loss statement, understand, where we're overspending. One example, we were spending $13,000 a year, small flower shop, on printer ink, because that's how old the systems were. Like the order comes out, you use a lot of ink, you flip the page over, you print out the image of what the flowers should look like, so the designer knows what they're designing. Paper gets wet, you have to like reprint it, maybe it gets like lost. I don't know, all this stuff happened, and we had 6 different printers in the shop. That's all I knew. And so I'm like, why don't we just buy an iPad and like develop this, super scrappy app that just like digitizes the photos and like maybe some order data, so the designer can just like, and so that's where it started, right? And like that was the genesis of our tech. And we were just like solving problems, honestly, to help cut costs. And what we found is it also like crazy improved our operational efficiency and gave the designers back a ton of time to like just do the work that they loved more, which was designing and not the admin tasks of printing. And so it was a lot. It was like dozens and dozens of just little decisions like that. Like, how do we spend less money on printer ink, right? That was like the first 6 months.
It's a big one. You found 13,000. It's amazing.
Totally. Yeah. Changing out. I mean, the phone system was super old. There's like a bunch of just not the sexiest tactics, but very real like stuff to get the business to a healthier place. And then after 6 months, like, okay, we're making, 50, 80K, 100K a year, 150K a year. And it's like, ooh, we can take a lot of that and reinvest it back into the business and like make some great hires, build some great tech, invest in a better supply chain, fly down to like Ecuador and Colombia and develop these relationships with farmers, like that kind of thing, right? Kind of fun. And like what was a really small flower shop, just a few years later, we're doing almost $10 million out of a single location.
Wow.
We opened up a second and a third location, and both of those locations on average did over $1 million in sales in their first year. And that's when we said, hey, like we feel like we've improved the space and order of magnitude in our little tiny world in Los Angeles, and in Southern California first. And we started looking at, do we want to expand and license our tech to other florists? Do we want to grow our corporate locations across the United States, or do we want to franchise? And I come from the background where I don't like franchises. I had a negative stigma with franchises. But the more I learned about it, I learned that my stigma was correct. There are a lot of, if I'm allowed to say it, like my strong opinion, there are a lot of bad franchise systems out there.
Yeah.
But there are a few that are really, really good. And if you do it right, and you put the franchise owners first, and you have a remarkable focus on unit economics, and find folks that are really purpose and values driven that align with our mission as well.
Yeah.
It can be a remarkably powerful vehicle to, and like, it's cool because I like that the industry is so local, and I'm not a huge big corporate guy. So the franchise system still enables like business owners and entrepreneurship to like flourish beyond myself. And then the collective wisdom of the entire system allows us to be so strong. Like, I don't know, it's for me, it's better than having 3 or 4 key executives on our team. And we do have that, and they're really, really smart people. But you start to get franchise owners that are boots on the ground, that own their shop, that are making great money, and they have ideas also. And we can create this like structure where their ideas feed into the system. We create a governance kind of structure where the best ideas bubble to the top, and we as the franchisor help execute them. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. So that's a little of past, present, and future is, right now we're predominantly focused on franchise expansion.
Yeah. And looking at what do you, I'm a fan of franchises. So the ones that work, like you mentioned, they really do work, and they can like some of the things that you mentioned throughout this interview, like what it took you to turn this business around, to create the operations, to do like the years of work it took to perfect these systems of even something like printer ink. Like that's right. When you have a franchise that works, and you have franchisee that wants to work in whatever capacity they are, they're doing it, whether they're operators or owner, and hire an operator, like whatever model they're choosing, it can really like take away a little bit of the I won't say pain, but like the mistakes of trial and error, because that's a very specific skill set that you developed in order to get it to the point to where it was working, and you were producing I would argue outsized numbers for the industry, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole the beautiful model is you can still be in business for yourself.
Yeah.
You own a French florist, or you own multiple French florist locations, but you're not in business by yourself. You have almost like enterprise level resources at your fingertips, but it's your business, and you're making like all of the effort that goes into it comes directly back to you. You make the good decisions, you reap the rewards. You make the bad decisions, like you also, but there's power in that responsibility. It's a great thing.
Absolutely. Talk a little bit more about the growth strategy in terms of like what you're looking for franchisees, and like what talk about the model a little bit more, maybe territories, expansion, things like that. Like go a little bit further into that.
Yeah. So right now we're expanding to 13 different states. We're doing that with an incredible amount of intentionality, making sure that there is power in building out a supply chain that is regional. So in Southern California, we have a very strong supply chain, right? We're developing the supply chain a little bit on the East Coast, some in the Midwest, some in the Southwest. So like Texas, but as far as Arizona, our first franchise owner was in Scottsdale. And then of course, California and up the coast is pretty easy for us. So depending, there's a lot of where the major cities are, it's a lot easier for us to get flowers to those major airport hubs and get them delivered to the flower shop's doorsteps. So that's what we're prioritizing, is developing in like slightly larger metro areas. And that's been working really well for us so far. And the folks that we look for, they come from all different walks of life. We've awarded franchise. We are very, very particular who we award a franchise to. That's when somebody looks at joining a franchise system, they're doing an incredible amount of due diligence on making sure the franchisor is actually going to operationally support them in the way that they're expecting to be supported. But for us, it's a two-way street. We're also looking at the franchise owners, and the way that I tell our team to look at it is we have like as human beings, right? I mean, a lot of times I feel like people separate like business, all this business and this is personal. Like, I don't know about that, right? Like we are helping people, make decisions that, like we have a responsibility to help them make a decision that we think is right for them. And so we actually help them vet us. But sometimes it can feel like we're interviewing them, but we're trying to make sure that there's like incredible alignment, that this is going to be a fruitful partnership. I think that even in franchising, but in any business opportunity, there's having great unit economics is expected. It has to be there. But where I think it's shifting to is that is becoming table stakes. And now we want to do business with people that we like working with. We want to do business with good people that have, shared vision, mission, values, shared culture. And so, and those types of people come from all different walks of life. We have veterans coming in, and we'd like a bomb technician, and going from that to flowers, like that's an amazing story in itself.
That is an amazing story.
All the way to like, we had a president of a private equity brand, a small private equity company, leave his organization, and now he's opening 5 French Florist locations. He's very financially. We have florists that are converting their stores, so they come from all different walks of life. But
wow.
But we really care about, like, yes, you want to make money, but like what more? Like, what are you going to do with that money? And I don't really care what the answer is, but like I like the conversation of like, you want to spend more time with the kids, you want to go to that yoga class, you want to go travel the world, you want to start a charity. Like, again, I don't really care what it is. I'm not here to judge that, but like I do want there to be something more than like, yes, we all want to do well financially, but like what more is there, right? So we do some deep dives into like, what's your mission, what's your why? Make sure there's enough overlap there.
Yeah. I'm curious. So at this point, based on your footprint, based on the expansion, everything else, you've kind of, you've become, a player in the floral industry, in the flower business. Like, what's been the industry response on something like this? Cause you're pioneering in a lot of different ways, and we didn't even touch e-commerce. Like, we didn't even touch that yet. Like, what's been some of the response there?
There's been a lot of skepticism by florists that, hey, we're just another 1-800-Flowers, we're just another Teleflora coming into the space. I think that's natural. Those conversations I have with florists are like, yes, like you should question us. Thank you for asking these questions. Like the industry has been taken advantage of, and like, don't partner with us right now. Like, don't even speak to us. Like, speak to our franchise owners. Speak to the people that were florists that maybe converted their flower shop, and like, don't talk to me.
You're biased. It's your company. That's okay. Right. Like, you ask me what's the best podcast to listen to, Michael, I'm going to be like, Mission Matters, duh.
Yeah, totally. So that's been one kind of group of how folks have been receptive. I got a call from someone at Teleflora, and they were like, can you please stop bashing the wire services? And I'm like, look, if you can, I'll give you the time of day. I'll give you 20 minutes. Like, talk to me. Why should I stop bashing the wire services? If you can convince me that you guys are bringing the industry to even an ounce of a more positive space, I will stop bashing the wire services. And he wasn't able to convince me, so I still bash them. But generally, I think that and then we have our clients, like some of the most important folks is actually the marketplace of, it's not up to you, or it's not up to me. It's not up to really our franchise owners on how successful we are. It's, we get to put something wonderful, what we feel is wonderful, out into the world. And ultimately the marketplace gets to determine if we're successful or not. It's kind of in their hands. Right. Yeah. But it's been really validating that anytime we open up a new store and somebody, I get a lot of text messages each day, like, oh my God, I saw your van driving around the city, or, I just received these flowers. We're like, oh my God, did you see like Kendall Jenner just posted on Instagram, like French Florist? I'm like, that's awesome. I think like we offer a level of service on the client level that's just so much better than the industry has had before. And like, that's probably the thing that I feel most passionate about, is like, ultimately we're a vehicle to help that make a reality, and our franchise owners are our vehicle to help make that a reality. And that's happening, and the reception has been good in that way.
Absolutely amazing. I love stories like this. Michael, it's been great having you on today and getting to know more about the French
Agree.
Florist story. I just have to ask, what's next? What's next for you? What's next for the company?
Yeah, I think that you know, someone wise once said, sometimes it's more important what you say no to than what it is you say yes to.
Hmm.
We're saying no to a whole bunch of stuff, and what that does is allows us the space to what we do say yes to becomes that much more potent.
Hmm.
And so what we are saying yes to is we're really headfirst into franchising, making sure that our franchise partners are set up for success.
Yeah.
We have a ridiculous amount of investments into our operational infrastructure, our tech infrastructure, our marketing infrastructure, and making sure that we can actually deliver on this promise to take this industry to its next era. And that's it. That's all we're doing.
Fantastic. And for anybody that's listening that wants to follow up and learn more, either on the consumer side or heck, there's a lot of business owners, a lot of entrepreneurs, lot of savvy investors that watch this show. If somebody wants information about the franchisee opportunity, like how do people connect?
Yeah, if you want to buy flowers, um, remember buy flowers for your mom on a random Tuesday, or for anybody on a random Tuesday, just because I think it's the most powerful thing. If you have never done something like that, try it. Just try it. I wish I could like give you a promo code or something. If you email me, I'll give you a promo code.
Hmm.
You can try it on me. But you go to frenchflorist.com for that. And then if you want to, for whatever reason, feel called towards the franchise side of things, you can also email me or go to frenchfloristfranchise.com. And our team we have like one salesperson. We really don't believe in the sales process. We'll just give you a bunch of information. And if you really actually do feel called to that, then we'll bring you on site. We'll give you a day in the life, like that kind of thing. It's a lot of fun. And then my email is michael@frenchflorist.com.
Fantastic. And for everybody listening, just so you know, we'll definitely put some links in the show notes so that you can check out the website and also connect with Michael. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, this is a daily show. You heard me correct. Each and every day, we're bringing you new content, new ideas, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way on your journey. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. We have lots of great interviews coming up and we don't want you to miss a thing. And Michael, man, appreciate you coming on. Glad we could finally do this.
Yeah. Thanks, Adam. I appreciate it.